What's going on, guys? It's your boy Elisha here. Welcome back to Go. This is the show where we discuss everything in the world of football from the past week. And by we, of course, I mean myself and you, the amazing, stupendous, beautiful, wonderful, exquisite people of the world of football. We have a lot, and I do mean a lot, to talk about this week. So without further ado, let's get right to the business. So first and foremost, to get things started, we are talking about the Champions League. And first, PSG versus Real Madrid, which ended in 2-2. Benzema, as for the beginning of the season, still banging in goals for Real Madrid week in and week out. 2-2. Mbappe was able to get a goal for PSG. Neymar was not on the score sheet that game, but it goes to show, Real Madrid is not as bad as people are making it seem to be. They're actually picking up a lot of steam. They're not as consistent as they was last year, but with of course, the departure of Ronaldo, it's not, you can expect them to have some troubles, but the team is doing absolutely well. Their youngsters are doing well right now. So Real Madrid fans should be happy with those results they're getting because they are getting the 3 points. But then let's move on to Barcelona versus Dortmund, which ended in 3-1. Sancho was able to get a little consolation goal in the 77th minute for Dortmund. MSG, Messi, Suarez, and Griezmann, of course, were all on the score sheet and were able to get that 3 points in the final games of the Champions League group stage. So Dortmund got some work to do. They have a lot of work to do. They're slacking. They're slacking in the Bundesliga. They got that barely made that 3-3 win last week in the Bundesliga, and now losing to Barcelona is not a good look. It's not a good look at all. So if they decide to actually contend for these competitions, they're gonna have to start getting better results. Also, Inter Milan, Lukaku, since his departure from Manchester United, has been killing it. Absolutely been fantastic for Inter Milan. Got in a goal and 2 assists versus Slavia Praha in the Champions League this week. 2 Martinez, 2 assists. This guy is absolutely all the changes that Antonio Conte has brought into Inter has been a recipe for success. Lukaku coming in has been great. Martinez is playing beautifully. The whole team. And right now we're going to talk about their performance in the Serie A later on. But they're doing absolutely great. So the problem, now seeing it, and this is the same thing if Pogba leaves United. A lot of people are going to realize the problem wasn't Lukaku, who, yes, I agree, doesn't have the best first touch. But he's performing. He's getting assists and he's getting goals in. The problem was the environment that he was in that was just holding him back, and it's showing now. The Serie A is not playing for any Italian team is not the easiest thing in the world, but he's making it look easy. And speaking of which, Dybala netted in again through a tough game. We know how Atletico versus Juventus is never an easy game, especially when Ronaldo is meeting his old rivals, but Dybala was the one on the score sheet, a direct free kick to beat the wall and Oblak and get the 3 points for the Italian Giants. And last but not least, in notable Champions League news, the ball boy was actually one of the most important players for Tottenham's victory against Olympiacos in the Champions League. They started off rough. It was a 2-0. They were 2-0 up over the Spurs, but they were able to get back to it slowly, and eventually one of the most unusual assists or sequences in a game that you'll see. That ball boy, the sequence was very interesting. Went out, and it's crazy how that ball boy became a hero. Ball went out, ball boy to Serge Aurier to Lucas Moura crosses it to Harry Kane scores, goal. It's that easy. It's crazy how the ball boy's ability to read the play, as Mourinho said, and he had to go over there and pound the boy because he actually was an integral part of that game. If the game had slowed down and he didn't play it on time, this would have never happened. And who knows, they could have actually had to share points with Olympiacos that game. So kudos to him. They even invited him into their next game in the pre-match, and he sat down and ate with the team and everything, and Mourinho called them back to meet the players, which is a great thing. Like, he really appreciates that boy now. So weird actually say that ball boy, the ball boy. boy. And also in the Europa League, speaking of European football, United and Arsenal both lost 2-1, and which, as you might know by now, led to Unai Emery being fired as Arsenal Football Club coach. Oh, he had an absolutely nightmare of an evening. No, but in all seriousness though, there's a lot of jokes that went on with Unai Emery, and a lot of the fans obviously didn't want him in the club, but he was a great guy. At least he was a great guy. But at the end of the day, football is a business, and if you're not doing the job right, you're subject to getting sacked. Sacked like a sack of potatoes, sacked like a pair of tests. But for the time being, Freddie Ljungberg, ex-Arsenal player, will be replacing him as a coach until they find somebody else to do the job permanently. There's talks of Luis Enrique, maybe Pochettino. Who knows? Who's gonna maybe who? But now let's move on to the Premier League, and Tottenham are still winning games under Mourinho. 3 for 3. They are 3 games, 3 wins. They're scoring goals. Everybody thought he was gonna be way too defensive and he wasn't gonna get any goals, but now he's proven to y'all that he can get some goals. Okay, 3-2 to Bournemouth. All right, they conceded 2. Cool. They're conceding goals, but they're getting the results. Mourinho is getting those 3 points that unfortunately Pochettino was not able to get. And that's all that matters right now. Are you winning games? Are you on your way to possibly getting some trophies? All right then, that's all that matters. That's what your job is as a coach, is to get the results and to have a system in place so that your players can be successful. And that's exactly what he's doing. And I can't say the same about Arsenal, because they drew to Norwich 2-2. And Aubameyang saved them, because Norwich were 2-1 up on Arsenal, and he was able to save them and get that last goal in the second half to draw them and have them share the points. So they were in critical danger. Nothing has changed. Yes, Freddie Ljungberg is just a temporary coach, but right now they're in the same place that they were as with Unai Emery. So what changed? Nothing, absolutely nothing changed. Arsenal's still Arsenal, and whoever the next coach is, they might possibly still be Arsenal. Like I said, change the whole team. I love y'all, but change the team. Just go do something else. You guys are drawing so much. You might as well get a job as an animator. If you're gonna be drawing so many games, if Arsenal's gonna be drawing so many games, as are Manchester United, you might as well get a job in a field where drawing is actually a positive thing. You can be an art teacher. You can be an animator. You can be a cartoonist. You can even be an architect. Whatever you want in those fields, you can actually draw, and it'll get you some money and it'll make people happy. But in football, drawing is not good. So stop doing it. You can actually see Phil Jones as an art teacher. Aubameyang could be an architect. He's sharp. And then Rashford, I can see him as a cartoonist. He has a little, the way his head is shaped is funny to me. I can see him, doing some animation, some cartoonist work. Yes. And more in the Premier League, Leicester City goes second place now, as Man City were not able to get a win against Newcastle. 2-2 it ended. Leicester beat Everton 2-1 to come second, as of course Liverpool won their game. Can't even, that's just a given. I don't even want to talk about that game. Just Google it. Google the scores, watch the highlights. They won. Everybody else is secondary. Okay, that's just a given. We just know it's going to be big news when they lose or draw, but you just know they won. Liverpool won. That's what they do. Oh my God, they're so good. They're gonna win the Premier League. They're gonna win it. They just throw everything else. Just oh my God. I don't know what's happening to me. It's just good. They're gonna win the Premier League. They're gonna. It's inevitable. They're Thanos. It's inevitable. Let's move on to the Serie A before I go crazy, man. Juventus drew to Sassuolo, and Ronaldo was able to get a penalty and score one for them, but it was not enough. It just wasn't enough, man. And now Inter Milan, who beat Spal 2-1, of course, courtesy of Martinez again, killing it. Lukaku had a phenomenal performance. Go top of the Serie A by 1 point. Just one little point. Lazio is third, and they're actually surprisingly the most impressive team out of those three. Immobile, Lazio player, is a top scorer in the league, 17 goals, and Lukaku is second with 10 goals. Already 17 goals in the league. And then you have Luis Alberto, who's top in the assist list with 7 assists. Both players from Lazio, third in the Serie A, doing phenomenal. But right now, it's super competitive between Juventus, Inter. Lazio is third, but they're still there. They're still on their heel, and so you can't take him out of the conversation. But Inter Milan did great business during the offseason, during the transfer window, and they're giving Juventus a run for their money. They're right there, and it's going to undoubtedly go down to the very last games, and I hope it does. Makes everything a lot more fun, to be honest. But now let's move on to the Bundesliga, and we're talking about real quick Mönchengladbach, who's killing it and beat 4-2 against Freiburg, and now they're meeting against Bayern Munich, who lost against Bayer Leverkusen this weekend 2-1. So their next meeting is going to be a very important one. It's very tight at the top of the Bundesliga table right now. Mönchengladbach is at the lead of that. Leipzig is right after them. Right now, Dortmund and Bayern are like 4th and 5th. They're slowly dropping right now. It's very droopy for them, and it's not looking like Bayern are gonna be this year's champion too. Still December, still kind of early to call it, but the signs, the patterns right now are all pointing towards Mönchengladbach or Leipzig winning this whole thing. So, which I hope happens. As I've said before, I'm not ashamed to say this, that it's not that I'm against Bayern winning. I'm just against any one team that's going to keep winning the same thing over and over again. Great fan. I'm a fan of Lewandowski's success. Okay, I want to see him keep banging in goals. I want to see him at the top of Ballon d'Or talks and lists year after year. As long as he keeps performing, I'm all for it. But I would love to see Mönchengladbach or Dortmund or Leipzig. As much as everybody is up in arms about the Red Bull teams, I want to see them do well. I just want to see a new champions, and I want to see them fight for it and deserve that win and that trophy overall. And last but not least, we are talking about the Liga MX in Mexico. But right now, as you may or may not know, the Apertura, which is the opening stage of the Mexican league, there's the Apertura and there's the Clausura, which is the closing stage. So there's 2 halves of the season, okay? 2 different champions can be named, okay? The Clausura is a whole different thing. It starts over. Everybody's 0.0 games, and it just starts over. But right now in the Apertura is the quarterfinals. So coming up is going to be Necaxa against Monarcas in the semis, as they won both legs in their games this week in the quarterfinals. With that being said, the Ballon d'Or, which I know you guys were, you were impatiently waiting. When are you going to talk about the Ballon d'Or? Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Or. Everybody, Ballon d'Or, Ballon d'Oro. Ballon d'Or is coming up. Messi, Van Dijk, Mane, Ronaldo, Salah. Who's going to win it? Calm down, relax. It's here. It's here. It's today. The Ballon d'Or ceremony is today. Like today. Monday, December 2nd. It's today. December 2nd, 2019. The Ballon d'Or is today. Did I say it's today? Because it's today. Okay, but it's going to be hosted by David Ginola. Shout out to David Ginola, who actually hosted it back in 2017. We know DJ Martin Slovak last year's little mishap with Ada Hegerberg. This is the whole twerking thing. It was just a mess. It was a chaos, okay, as James Nesbitt would say. But nonetheless, shout out to all the hosts, and I'm taking notes for when I host it in a couple years, because of course I gotta bring the Elisha in it, you know. But I'm taking notes from the previous ones, because that's how you get there, you know. You gotta have those inspirations. You gotta have them on your wall. You gotta say, yes, David Ginola hosted it. I'm gonna be there, so I need to see a little bit of something he does, but bringing my own flavor to it, my own spice. But for what you guys are really here for, Messi, Van Dijk, Sadio Mane, we have Megan Rapinoe, who's likely to be crowned the Women's Ballon d'Or winner. Not much controversy on that part. World champion. That's a given. But Messi, Van Dijk, Sadio Mane, Salah, Ronaldo. Not so much Ronaldo right now, because the other contenders are very strong. Who will be crowned the Ballon d'Or winner? Who's going to win it? Who's going to be the Ballon d'Or champion this year? Is Messi gonna take over Ronaldo's tally and get himself yet another Ballon d'Or? Is Van Dijk or Sadio Mane, Liverpool champions, who've been killing the game right now in the Premier League? They were second last year, almost won it, won the Champions League. As Hazard would say, it should be a Liverpool player. But then Messi is playing so well, so absolutely well last season. You can't help but put him in that conversation. But right now, the way the internet's talking, the murmurs that I hear, seems like it's gonna go to Messi. I hope it goes to a Liverpool player like Mane or Van Dijk. But it's not that I have, of course, anything against Messi, but I think it should go to one of these two. But what do you guys think? Drop it in the comments. Who do you think should be the Ballon d'Or winner? Go down there and drop it. Just watch it. Just pause the video. Now that you're back, I know you had it. Okay, it's the end of the show. Okay, yes, I know. It's anticlimactic, I know. But with that being said, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for chilling with your boy. Thank you for watching me play with this ball all episode long. Pause. I didn't actually play with it that much. This is a La Liga ball, by the way. What do you guys think about this? It's actually pretty nice. I love this ball. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. La Liga ball. It's amazing. I love it. Wow. What a beautiful ball. Anyways, guys, this was it for this week on Goal. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, share it as always with your cousins, dogs, brothers, neighbor, with your mammy, your nanny, your daddy, your poppy, your grandpappy, your sister, your brother, your cat, your plant who you're letting die. Go water your plant right now. And then come back. Make sure you check out the music and the social media in the description. And I will see you guys next time on Goal. Peace.